We're not technically live yet.
Now we are.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Illfoominati. It is a beautiful day in Denver, Colorado. It is just sunny, but not too warm like it was yesterday. The wind is nice, and we've got beautiful people around us. Right now, I have the immense pleasure of introducing to you one of my favorite artists of all time. This is Miss Olivia Blu.
It's nice to meet you, what do you do? And where did you go to school? Is that where you learn to walk? Where you learn to talk? Or did you ever? She never did, 'cause she's an astronaut. Whoa, school was on the moon. Not enough gravity to walk, not enough air to talk. So she just sings and paints herself green. And paints herself green. They said not one tree left behind, but they cut down every child. And everybody got one piece of paper that told them all that they would ever be. It's nice to meet you. How much debt are you in? And when does your life begin? They always say not until graduation. Everything before that was just a test. I hope that you did your best. That you did your best. They said not one tree left behind, but they cut down every child. And everybody got one piece of paper that told them all that they would ever be. You can't cure a sick tree by picking off the bad fruits. The only place is to start at the roots. I'll tell you what, a brain is a terrible thing to waste, but not as bad as wasting your precious time. You've got a gun in your hand, but you value life. Oh, what are you fighting for? She said, defer your loans till the revolution. She said, defer your loans till the revolution. And she said, defer your loans till the revolution. She said, defer your loans until we have hopefully some kind of peaceful transition away from an economic system that values property and quote unquote property and profit over life.
Woo! Coming right up.
Olivia Blu, ladies and gentlemen. She is a force. She's a phenomenon. She's fantastic. And she's part of a collective called Baobo, who will be joining us at Meet in the Street on July 15th. They'll also be opening up the entire space with a little bit of ritual, which is always appreciated. Olivia, that was fantastic. You're fantastic.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to be truthful. So you're going to play another couple of songs for us, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. Did that one have a name?
Defer your loans.
Defer your loans. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the WeAreDenver network. We get to showcase fantastic artists like Olivia Blu. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you continue to enjoy her brilliance.
Sunshine, you offer reflection, consolation in this mass extinction. Technology 'Cause we're all just going round the sun, trying to keep the trigger from the gun. And it's in this body that I find home, and by a stretch of the imagination, I call it my own. But it's really my mother's and her mother's too, and her mother's too, and her mother's too, and her mother's too, and her mother's too. She gave me water too. 'Cause we're all just going round the sun, trying to keep the trigger from the gun. 'Cause we're all just going round the sun, trying to keep the trigger from the gun. Sunshine, you offer reflection, consolation in this mass extinction. Technology, that's not new to me. Photosynthesis and carbon sequestration. 'Cause we're all just going round the sun, trying to keep the trigger from the gun.
Woo! Yes.
I feel like I have to clap.
So much yes.
It's so good. Anyone who's watching live right now is getting such a treat.
Yeah. You lucked
Really.
into it. You didn't even know this was going to happen.
You didn't even know it was going to
I
happen.
mean, we're in the same position. I mean, we knew, but
Yeah, but who really knows anything?
3 weeks ago
Yeah.
is essentially the same position that everyone was in 10 minutes ago who's happens
So
to be.
now you're
tuned
experiencing what it's like to be us.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Olivia, you're going to join us for one more song?
Yeah.
Take your time, hydrate. You're fantastic.
Good idea. Where's the
You're doing a solo set at Meet in the Street as well, aren't you?
Yes.
What day is that?
August 5th?
5th. August 5th. So August 5th, if you're down in Denver, come to the 16th Street Mall. You will see this wonderful, talented human being doing what they're doing best solo. Or watch her and her awesome group of two other beautiful ladies in her called Baobo. And they are on July 15th. So come join us. And otherwise, just continue to be serenaded by this wonderful human being's voice.
I'll be at the Mercury Cafe on Tuesday too this week.
Shout out all the gigs.
And I'm going to play a song on the piano, which I'm pretty excited about. I never do that. Unless I'm all alone. Okay.
was amazing.
Yes.
Am I, like he cut my mic, you probably hear
Yep. I feel like our mics might be cut just because she was so good.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
because he was the mouse clicking, I'm sure of it. He was in there being like, mother for.
Yeah.
But I was
All that
I was
mouse
feeling kind of
clicking.
bad about it, but I also know that he can post-edit that if he wants to.
Yeah,
so.
he's good enough. Olivia, that was amazing. That was incredible. Clap again for Olivia in the microphone. That was great. Come join us. Take your time.
Yeah, strip your headphones, and we got a new set
I should
for you
take
over
off
here.
these headphones?
Yep,
Yeah.
we've got a separate pair of headphones for you, and then also take care of that wonderful guitar. God, that was incredible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Grinch earlier. Do you remember why that came up?
Yeah, because we were talking about the size of hearts, and someone took it metaphorically.
I thought the Grinch started that. I was just going to say, I feel like my understanding of love and the understanding of my capacity for it has just grown 10 sizes.
Oh, that's good. That's what an effect for your music to have on somebody.
Do you really mean that?
He does really mean that.
Yeah, I'm half of that lesson I learned the first time I heard you do that. So I was immediately as impressed. But your songwriting is just as good as your voice, which is out of this world. So.
Yeah, I have to say, like, to open up the podcast and learning about you. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? This is Olivia. Oh, we need to move this camera.
I'm on it. You talk.
Okay,
I'll go.
Samson will do that. So, this is Olivia. You're about to see a frame of her in a second in that third box. But I'm Ryan Fu. This is Illfoominati. We are going to be getting to know...
I have just a question.
Yeah.
People are watching this, they can see 3 boxes.
That's right. They can see the 3 boxes.
They're looking at the right side there.
Yeah, this is the live screen. But then also, while we're switching around, they change. So it's not just me in 2 small boxes. It's constantly somebody in 2 small boxes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here, Olivia. Here,
for
let me
inviting me.
we move this microphone in for you.
Cool. Thank you for inviting me. I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm already having a phenomenal time. And so should anybody who's listening, because your songs are great. The first thing that occurred to me is how interrelated your music and your ideology, philosophy, lifestyle, life choices are interrelated. Like, tell me about that. Why do you write the music that you write?
It really just, initially it came from just a need, or a need to just express something more than anything. It didn't really, it's not something that I really think a lot about.
Good.
It's just something that happens, and that, or it doesn't just happen. I put a lot of time into it, but I just naturally find myself wanting to talk about or sing about things that I think about and do about.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you do about? What are some of the doing things you sing about in your songs? Because a lot of it's about nature and Mother Earth and gardening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I, you know this, Ryan knows this. I love gardening. Gardening to me is like the church.
Hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's my new hashtag.
Hands in the dirt.
Hands in the dirt.
Yep. Dirt in your mouth.
Dirt and Prozac.
Tasty.
Yep. Yes, it is. So yeah, I'm just really trying to be real to what I believe in all ways. So that means that I play with plants on a regular basis. And I'm really lucky to have that access and to have that time. But I really try to make my life around, time is funny, right? And and the jobs and capitalism tends to suck up all of our time and money. Energy. So, or the current system that we have. So I really am trying to model my life around a way that I really can do the things that I want to do, which are mostly plant things and music things and art things. So,
well, that's awesome. How's that going?
That's the song stuff.
Modeling your life around capitalism.
No.
Around the...
Oh,
around,
yeah.
In avoidance of?
Well, I guess
as an
avoidance
alternative to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or trying to change different currents of energy so that it's not just within the ones that we tend to have access to or think as ways to...
Yeah,
to
or that have
move
been
around
taught to us
right.
as to be so. Yeah, definitely. Well, you're doing a fantastic job. You've got a website up. People check out her website if you get a chance. I'm not sure if it's even ready yet, but we did anyway.
It looks fine. I was just there, so.
There's a few weird pages for sure. There's going to be a few weird links,
right.
but otherwise it's...
That's how you know she made it herself.
I did it myself.
Homemade website.
It's a homemade website.
All organic, no GMOs.
On the subject of lyrics, two things that I remember that caught my ear was one, I like to wear a skirt because it makes it easier to talk to the dirt. I don't know, that was something. I know that was the feeling. I can't remember if that was exactly the words, but tell me about talking to the dirt with a skirt on, like sitting in the grass kind of thing, like.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody that has a vulva, that's our other mouth. That's like another orifice in our body that we tend to think as something that is for sexual pleasure or just bleeding, but this is certainly something that I can't say that I totally have access to or understand at this point, but I do recognize and realize it as a way to communicate with the earth, for example, or with whatever I'm standing above.
Yeah.
So it's helpful to wear a skirt because then you're directly right there. It's like I wouldn't put you can put a mask over your mouth and talk to people. Doctors do it all the time, right? But it's doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. Yeah, so similarly. Yeah, I think there's a lot of mystical connections to nature and gardening.
Well, we come from the earth and we come from the vagina, so
Yeah, that's true.
they're probably
both our mother in that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably getting notes from each other.
Yeah, and this isn't a new revelation. This is something
Microbes.
Yeah. Oh, nice, yeah. But humanity's been doing this for hundreds of thousands of years, making the connection between the sacred mother and Earth itself. But yeah, it's you garden some by yourself in your own property and whatnot. Is there anywhere else you do gardening or any other kind of agricultural stuff?
At this point, I mostly am just focusing on a garden project where I live at, but I'm really interested now in helping other people just activate their gardens. I like to think of it as activating it because the hardest part is just starting it, right? That's always the more heavy labor part of it, too.
Yeah.
And the part that's harder to do on your own.
Yeah, activate is a keyword for WeAreDenver, I think.
Yeah, we like the word activate.
It's kind of been confirmed yesterday, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we'll be focusing on people who activate things, so I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Well, everybody who's an artist in Denver that I think is worth talking about or worth their salt is somebody who's not, much like her lyrics, somebody who's not just singing about something but is living a lifestyle.
And singing about something.
Yeah.
Like,
or expressing that lifestyle through their singing. Yeah. The singing's not the result of it.
Yeah, not just words but meanings.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're one of those people, and I really appreciate that about you. You came out and you talked at the Save the Bees event that Conscious Creatives put on a little while ago, and I was fortunate enough to be the MC of, and you shared some incredible information about seeds you talked about, right?
Yeah, seeds and seed saving.
Mm-hmm, seed saving, and then also the generations of seeds within a regional area, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that. Why does that matter?
Yeah, so it's easy to start a garden. It's easy to, or maybe it's not. Sometimes we just talked about that. Sometimes it's not easy to start. But right now we have to go out and buy all the little elements of it. Oftentimes we have to go buy seeds. We have to go buy plants. And the idea of saving your own seeds from plants that are growing in your garden or plants that maybe you buy a plant from the store and then you save the seeds from those. But either way, saving your own seeds, the idea is to really get a seed that has a memory of where it is. Because as a seed lives its life and it turns into a flower and then it makes more seeds, it's going to pass on that information to the next generation, just like humans, just like we get our trauma from our parents and the beautiful things from our parents. Yeah. So do plants, and so if a plant goes through a drought one season and it makes seeds, it's going to pass on that information about how to survive a drought to its next generation. Yeah. And we can...
That's also a fundamental way to sort of take down the dependence we have on consumerism, because that's an entirely sufficient method of growing things.
Yeah.
Nature's incredible.
Yeah, and it's self-replicating. The seeds are self-replicating.
They're not just self-replicating, they're ever-growing, becoming stronger. They're getting better at
self-improving.
Self-improving.
Yeah, and especially if we continue to save them and then also share them with people in our community. And I've been saving seeds, and then I give them out to people, and I know that this probably isn't going to happen. Every once in a while, I'm sure it will happen, but I give it to them, and I say, grow some, and then give me back a few. Because
have you gotten any seeds back?
Well, this is really the first year that I've given them out, so people haven't had a chance to. But
so next year we'll see.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And then we all just keep doing that for each other.
Right.
It sounds like a pyramid scheme to me. I'm not sure.
Got to have a little bit of cynicism in there.
In the second year, you'll have 1,463,221 seeds.
But only if you invite your friends and give them each a seed, and they give each one of their friends a seed.
It's true.
And I'll only be
That's
taking a
true.
small cut of your seeds.
I'll only be taking a small cut of your seeds. Yeah, but this is a
We'll
way
call it
to...
cuttings.
Meal.
There would be so many seeds if we all did that with one plant, right? If we all had like one family plant, like my family did pumpkins and your family did squashes, there'd be so many seeds it wouldn't. You'd just give them away.
Yeah, I mean, every pumpkin has hundreds and hundreds of seeds.
Right.
It's
You grow 5 of
There's
them.
way too many for anybody.
Do you think,
Yeah.
given that, do you think the plant kingdom as a whole is like, man, these humans, I pump out so
Yeah.
many seeds and like they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
All we can use them for is breathing.
Have you seen watermelon? That guy's like no seeds anymore. What have they done?
Yeah, they're going
Oh, yeah,
backwards.
that's
Yep. There's lots of tragic parts to our world like that. So I'm going to make a shift because this is pretty cool. Your music is super cool, and it relates to some real life stuff that's happening. And there's a poster that I saw on your wall recently when I came to visit your incredible garden. Thank you so much. And we're going to switch to it right now. This is part of a collective called the Beehive Collective, and they do amazing work. They do these giant murals. With all this detail. So I don't know if you can zoom in a little more or like go to any of those.
Maybe.
We're going to find out right now. You could hold control and scroll up as well. Nice. So if you go to one of the corners and zoom in, you'll see that on this map, you remember what this side is called?
I think the colonizer's view.
The colonizer's
something-
view. There are
something along
4
those
main
lines.
players in the 4 corners. Let me put my glasses on so I can read them properly. The top left is...
Looks like bank.
Yep.
Is that bank?
Yeah, it's the International
Inter-
Monetary Fund.
Or the Inter-American Development Bank.
Right, Inter-American Development Bank. The top right is the World Trade Organization. The bottom right is the World Bank. And then the bottom left is the International Monetary Fund. That's what I was thinking about.
I like these guys sitting in the middle here.
If you look at...
Fidelio.
Yeah, this isn't just a piece of art where there's pretty stuff on it. Every single piece of imagery speaks to a sort of... What would you even call it, Olivia? Like a revolutionary ideology, I would say. If you scroll in to the top there, you see the Kool-Aid guy right there in the middle? Right there. Just scroll in on his ship. This is just one example of this incredible artwork. If you look over here at the Kool-Aid ship, it's powered by Kool-Aid, and it's flying the flag of dentistry.
And they have cavities.
Little
teeth and cavities.
Yeah, and it's got spoons that are full of sugar. So that's just one tiny little metaphor, right? And every single piece of it comes with a guide that you can read, and every single piece of imagery is sort of a critique of
Wow.
capitalism.
I should try and knock one of these out in an hour. That would be a really fun podcast and work perfect for my format.
Right. Yeah.
I'm totally going to do that.
Yeah,
let's get somebody from there to
Yeah.
be there. to
They're
do that.
a local Denver. I don't know if they're a local Denver, but I've seen them do Denver meet and greets, right?
Yeah, I think they're mostly originally out of Maine, and now they're spread out about. But there's folks in Denver that present these posters, and they travel around with a big mural-sized print of this poster. So it's really more of a mural than a poster. And then they have workshops where they explain what's going on in them and the different pieces and tell the history and the story about the little elements in it.
Incredible.
It's
Well,
really
that's
cool.
that's
And
just one of them.
There's a bunch of them, yeah.
There's 3 or 4. We can come back to these cameras now. There's 3 or 4 of them, so check them out if you get a chance.
Beehive Collective.
Beehive Collective. They just do fantastic work, and I don't know. I'm not like a huge visual art consumer. Like I'm not somebody was naturally drawn to buying visual art or whatever. But when I saw that piece on your wall, I thought like I would pay money for that. That's incredible.
Right.
So really check it out, and the internet doesn't do it justice. Find a physical copy and look at it with your eyeballs. It's incredible. So yeah, there's lots of, but this whole concept, there's a whole realization that the story that we're uncovering, maybe as like younger people, about how the world really works, about how power works, about how food can be grown, but not shared for some reason, is summed up very well in this ideology. What would you call it? Are you willing to give it a name?
I feel like this is more of a process than an ideology.
Okay.
And the fact that I know this group, a big part of what they do is that they go to the place where people are most affected by this paradigm. And they interview them and they really learn the stories about how this is actually affecting people, and they do a lot of research that way. Mm-hmm. So I think that process of getting as many voices as possible into what's going on so that we can really see a more realistic picture of what's going on is what it is more than
answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of different ideologies behind this.
Right. Of course there are. Yeah, but what makes it unique is, you're right, is the sort of the way that it's been presented as so many different voices, so many different perspectives on what's going on. It's sort of like, I like that they're all sort of maps, is sort of what they feel like, because it's, in a way, in my opinion, it's sort of saying, this isn't an answer, this is just it's a roadmap, this is where we are now, this is like, what are we going to do? Yeah,
and then this one on this map, see it says folded view, I guess you can't see it now, but folded view at the bottom, so this map then opens up to have the view from the grassroots level. Right. And so this one is the colonizer's view, so it shows a map from or a piece of land from a really removed way where it's split up into pieces for resources, and there's all these different entities trying to basically suck resources out of these places. And then on the other side is the grassroots level, and really what the movements and the resistance that people have to having their resources stolen and their spirits and their livelihoods stolen. So
if you get a chance, Samson, try and pull up the other one. That was the first one that I showed, was the view from the grassroots, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And it's also a beautiful poster.
It's see that one on the next one to the left a little bit? Next one.
That one right there, yep. Yeah. So anyway, what you're about to be seeing is this view from the grassroots. And if you buy the actual poster and you read the packet, a lot of these are very specific movements. They're not just metaphors for movements. They're like, they're actual things that happen. They actually want to
talk to people that are doing these things. Mm-hmm. And this is just even a small piece of the big poster. This is a little zoomed in portion of it.
Right, but they're all metaphorical, as you can see.
We see
in some way.
Yeah, we have a banner of Mesoamerica Resist up in the corner here, and we have lots of small creatures kind of in an ecosystem around the roots of a tree.
Yeah, if you look at over here on the right, you can't really see it, but way on the far right there are bees, and these bees start off here in like the education system, and you can see like the elder bees teaching them about like the way the moon works and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then further down the line, as you get close to where corporatism and capitalism is encroaching, the bees become like corporate workers, and it's a great metaphor. So anyway, check out this entire piece of art, which was brought to my consciousness by Olivia. So thank you, Olivia.
Yeah. Thanks for coming and helping in the garden. Oh, Ryan came over and helped me in the garden, and we had a really magical gardening day.
Yeah, excellent. My garden's on hold.
Why is that?
Because WeAreDenver has taken all of my energy.
He needs some activation. He needs some people to go to his garden. It's hard to start a garden by yourself.
Yeah, and I'm at that stage where I'm about to dump 2 dump loads of dirt in the back, and then I need like 6 people to work like 3 hours. Yeah, I'm at a massive labor crunch, and it's the busiest week of the year at my job. So
let us know. Olivia's right, though.
Your job or your job? Job.
Job.
Yeah. I feel like that's a conversation you hear on the subway a lot.
Yeah.
Job.
Yeah. Conversations about jobs are hard for me.
And that goes back to a lyric that jumped out at me, too, was the something like, "How's nice to meet you? How much debt are you in?"
Oh, yeah. And when does your life really begin?
Yeah. I was
great series of questions.
I've had that conversation.
Yeah.
But, and then when you said, when does your life begin?
Like on your first date?
Hey, just want to set the ground rules real quick. How much debt are you in?
That's horrible.
5 digits, 6 digits? Like, what are we talking here? Yeah.
That's a fun conversation, too. I've never been a big money earner, but I've never been that far in debt. So most of the time I meet people and they're like doing really well. Yeah. You have the conversation and you're like, I make some money, whatever. And they're, and they're kind of like, and then the debt comes up and they're like, oh, I'm so in the hole. And I'm like, I'm actually not.
What is the average American's debt? I'm going to ask Google right now.
Let's make a guess.
$73,000.
73.
I feel
like $100,000 per household.
I'm going to say it's 20 to 40 per individual.
Well, I think that when I imagine people in debt, it's easy to come up around the stereotype, right? Around people that are in debt. And I think about like having or high amounts of debt. And I think of like a suburb type of house and a car that someone's having to pay all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is that so? I'm gonna guess that it's lower than I think.
So what are you going with? Give me a number.
I'm gonna say 30,000.
Sorry, this is taking hard to pull up. You look too. The average American household owes $16,000 in just credit card debt.
Yeah, that's one.
Just credit card.
Oh,
debt.
credit card.
Yeah, so the problem is you're going to have to find something that's adding in national debt.
All the debts.
And household debt.
National debt? Why would I have to add national debt?
Well, because it's advertised as being on our shoulders.
Oh, really? So you'd have to divide that up by...
Yeah, what, like 1,
So-
2,
That's
3
not
trillion? No. But the way the system works, it's actually not our debt.
So yeah, it's not. So the average person actually has between $10,000 and $50,000 of debt, depending on like your socioeconomic class,
and how you break it down.
and if you have college loans and all that stuff.
Yeah, loans being a big one.
So what are all the things you can be in debt for? Let's name them off that are big ones. College loans is one that people pick up right away. That could be like $100+ grand.
A house.
A house, that's another 300-ish grand.
Credit card.
Credit card.
Do people put their houses on credit? This is maybe a really stupid question.
No.
Do people buy houses with credit cards?
No, but
or cars with credit cards?
No, but
Cars.
your mortgage for a house is a kind of line of credit, so you can draw against that line of credit like it's a credit card.
But it's an actual thing. It's real estate. And so the loans work differently because they're secured, as in the bank can come and get the land.
Just take your house back.
Like things like a credit card and a car is in between because the amount of time it takes to, like, as you're paying for it, its value is rapidly decreasing as well because it's a used up commodity. So the bank is in a big hurry to get you to pay it off because if they're going to come repo your car, it's probably going to be a losing act thing. And then a credit card, who knows? You know, they can try and come after your assets, but for the most part, that's why credit cards are 20%. Car is like 10%, and a house is 4 to 5.
What's the opposite of real estate?
Ooh, I don't know the actual technical term off the top of my head. I might have to think about that.
Fake estate?
No, I know. I can't. Your question was so deep that I have no answer. It is fake estate. I mean, there is no real estate.
I mean, the word for it is like legal fiction.
Really?
Well, yeah, like a corporation is a legal fiction, and it's a thing that has value, but you can't actually go and touch it.
You can't find it. It's not tangible.
But I don't know how that's
Legal
termed.
fiction.
Like there
You're
would be
right.
a word
They're
for like how it's
opposites,
traded in the world markets.
Like if you think about Facebook's value isn't like a tangible value. What it thrives on is legal fiction. It's a series
It creates its own story about
what it is and what its value is, And Facebook's a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded organization.
Fake estate,
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so much of our property is intellectual property. So lots of our stuff doesn't exist. We were talking with Andy yesterday. America doesn't exist, right? I mean, that's just a word and a map with some lines on it.
Mm-hmm. And the definite America as a definition, like the United States of America Incorporated as a definition, does not have any. Well, it's the Washington D.C. But if you go and try and find a law that defines what ground the particular entity is in control of, you can't find that.
Really?
Yeah. So when you're participating in the United States, it's a membership card. It's not because you're standing on the dirt. It's because you're a member of it.
Right. That's what citizenship is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your little ID card. It's a membership card, and that's all the laws and stuff are referred to members and not where you are located.
Yeah, I always thought that was interesting that in all the corporate language that owners or people that are are members of this sort of like exclusive group. Anyway, that's all very fun and good. But we are trying to tap into Denver around here. And there's other cool things that are related to what you're talking about. If you don't know about the Denver Permaculture Guild, they are throwing a couple of events. Check them out, www.denverpermacultureguild.org. If we were really good at our jobs, there would be a link that appeared right here.
It's a busy
It's not
day.
going
We'll get
to.
there someday.
Look at this link that's not appearing, but one day would. There's also a social permaculture course, which is pretty fun. It's the concept of taking permaculture strategies in renewable and sustainable gardening into social realms. It's pretty fun. It's being hosted by Adam Brock, who's the guy who started the Grow House. Check that out.
I've met him. Cool dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He'll probably be on here one time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, definitely. But check out the course. It's like $30 and you get to have a fun time it's at like a Montessori school in Boulder. It's really beautiful land.
You went to a particular themed one, didn't you?
Yes, the theme I went to was led by Kendra Kruger, who will also be on here at one point. She is a badass.
Yeah.
like science magic witch, like a technical witch, which is a new thing for me.
I'm sold.
Yeah, you would be. But she's led one about, Jesus, it was something to do with oppression. I know, I'm sorry, that makes me feel bad to say that, but it had something to do with the concept of oppression and the concept of being an ally and like how to hold space for someone's anger, and also like when it's just not your job to do the emotional labor for them. Anyway, it's a curious space, and it's a hard conversation to have, but having a metaphor like gardening, I think makes it accessible to people. So yeah, I'm of the belief that human beings are gardeners, that's really what we are supposed to be doing in our ecology. And indigenous cultures were very tapped into that, right?
Hyper tapped into it.
They
we've talked about this, maybe even 2 podcasts ago, but most of the early journals of like early explorers describe this place as an Eden, just an incredible bounty of everything you could possibly imagine, like more fish and more animals than you could ever eat in a lifetime, like everyone combined, and amazing people and cities everywhere that were built out of things that biodegrade quickly, which is why there's no massive amount of evidence of that laying around. But
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's also crazy how thick the indoctrination is around making indigenous cultures seem violent. I just saw an article yesterday that a ball court was like unearthed under Mexico City. There was like already construction going on somewhere in Mexico City. Like, wait, hold on, don't cover that hole up yet. We want to dig in there. And they found this ancient ball court that like the Spanish had written some journals about coming to see in a king. But like the headline wasn't like, oh, really cool archaeological find. It was 32 male vertebrae found at this thing. And it's really amazing how quickly they go to making this seem like a really violent thing. And maybe it was, but it's pretty hard to confirm all that stuff. And what's the interest in making these indigenous cultures seem so violent? I think it's clearly propaganda.
Well, if it bleeds, it leads, too.
Yeah, it's just stuff that people care. Yep. Yeah. We're asshole consumers who like violence.
I want to, the conspiracy aspects that are interesting. You wonder about the producer, editor who calls down to the newsroom and says, we can't make the indigenous people look good, so change that. There was probably somebody even further down the ladder. That doesn't even have to happen because somebody was like, focus on the bones. Focus on the bones.
Focus on the bones. The bones are the interesting part. People are going to click on the bones. They're not going to click on the ball cord. Yeah, so that goes all the way back to what we always try and get back to in Illfoominati, which is none of this change is going to happen externally unless we incorporate it inside. Like, until we're consumers of media that would click on the ball court archaeological find and not the bones, that's what they're going to keep feeding us.
Do that. We need anybody a free idea. Take this one and run with it. But
intellectual property given. The
website will be called Double Click, and every news story, interesting thing, will have both sides of the story as the clickbait title.
Ooh.
And it's called Double Click. So you can be like, ooh, I want to talk about archaeological bones and dangerous indigenous people. And other people are like, I want to dig up history and geek out on it.
Yeah. You can see both. I really like ancient sports.
Ball court of death, or ancient ball court found.
Yeah, just depending on which article you read. Yeah, I've seen actual articles like that. Like all over the place. There was someone who, I think it was Murdoch's company. What's that one called? News Corp. News Corp. Thank you. They've got a couple of Britain ones and a couple of American ones, and it's fun to see when they use the same picture and the same general story, but the headlines change slightly, because you get to see who they're catering to and how their perspectives change. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe you, viewer, maybe you're somebody who really believes in modern media. I don't know. I don't think the three of us truly do.
Modern media is a misnomer now.
Yeah. But like mainstream,
it's traditional now.
Mainstream media.
No, I'm saying like what we think of mainstream media, Fox, NBC, that's not modern. No, it's dead already.
That's traditional. Yeah, that's already old. It's dying.
Alex Jones is competing with the Super Bowl for views.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know
who that is.
No, Alex Jones is the crazy conspiracy theorist that he's like the one being defamed in the media because he's the easiest one to attack, and he's also the most popular. Yeah. But have you heard Joe Rogan? So he appeared on Joe Rogan, and they had just as many viewers as the Super Bowl did, and it was just a podcast.
Yep, just like this. But it was...
Good job.
Yeah, it's just media is changing. People are looking for something else to interact with. But it seems like there's also people that are smart enough to realize that and will feed folks exactly what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. It's weird that that's become media's goal, really, is feed your consumers what they're asking for, when that's not how the world works.
Yeah, but it's
how our economic system works.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just a part of that, I think.
Right, yeah. You have to generate the demand, and then you supply them once you've generated the demand you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like people's preconceived notions that are getting in the way of things, you know? Like that the guy who's running the TV station, or the editor, previously mentioned guy who has the ability to cut out certain things for whatever his motive might be. He's like living the good life in a situation he's very far removed from, like the problems of common people, you know?
Yeah.
So even if he thinks he's being even-handed, he's not being even-handed, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm giving the people what they want. And like, how would you know? You're not the people.
That's a good point.
You're not even close.
Yeah, but
you're
like
just
that's
one person.
You're just one person. You're not the people.
Yeah, and you're way outside the average on the bell curve. You're way over there, dude.
Yeah, but
You're
it's
off in
hard to
La La
convince
Land.
people that, especially when they're in positions of power. Also, because they see everyone else around them doing that, so there's just no other way to do it. That's why I really liked the Beehive Collective photo, because one side of it is what we're talking about, this giant corporate view that is its own, I think, sort of like occult machinery that's going on. But at the bottom is this grassroots resistance that's, I think, in the consciousness of humanity starting to really take seed. Mm-hmm. And you need to be able to have both sides of it. You can't just climb the tree, and you can't just try and fix the machine from the inside. There's got to be a little bit of both. There's going to be some beautiful place in the middle where these things meet. Anyway,
well, I feel like it's sort of having an awareness of the first map of the colonizer's view, but then working from
the bottom.
But
well, if that's where
not
you
everybody,
are,
yeah.
If you're at the top, then you use the colonizer's view, right? That's the only way you can see it.
Yeah. But I guess if we're talking about trying to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't expect it to be fixed by one or the other.
Fixing it is explaining to the vast majority of people who think that by sticking with that corporate view that they're going to do better.
Right.
And explaining that by switching to the more indigenous local, feed your tribe kind of view, that they will have, there's more room to grow there.
Why are people resistant to that?
Well, because they've never seen it. You know, it's a forgotten thing for people like us.
Yeah. That honestly blows my mind, because coming out of like high school and college, the only thing I wanted was to build my tribe. That's why like being a part of the Black Actors Guild was such a big deal for me, and I loved all these comedians and writers and artists and creatives, and it's led me here because I was seeking a sense of community. And that's why WeAreDenver, and that's why we're building this, to strengthen that further. So I can't comprehend why you would be afraid of community, why you would be afraid of the real grassroots building, or why you would just sort of brush it off too. That honestly just baffles me. But I'm not them. So
it's just perspective.
Yeah.
You know, people who are like, this is as good as it gets.
Right.
You know, I have a microwave.
Yeah.
It heats my food, but it doesn't get hot.
But the middle is still cold.
Yeah. I am a recipient of the future. I am future human. I am amazing. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah. And then this little voice existential crisis in their head happens, like, it still sucks. And they freak out. Yeah.
I was just staring at my microwave
last night?
Yeah.
Did you remember your dream?
Ooh. Do you remember your dreams, Olivia?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them?
No. It comes in waves.
Do you write it down? Do you have a dream journal?
Sometimes I do, and then sometimes I don't. It also comes in waves.
How do you?
It's
what
like
kind
a
of
cycle type of thing.
I'll say, like, what kind of relationship do you have your dreams? But like, people you know, do they appear in your dreams?
Yeah.
A lot, or because I'm like almost never.
You have people you don't know in your dreams?
No idea. It's very rare.
I have that sometimes. I have a mixture, but usually it's people that I know.
Yeah, it's
Although
usually
I have a
people
lot of
I know.
animals too. Animals are fun.
Oh, I never dream about animals.
I don't think I do either. How'd you say that?
It's hard.
Interesting.
I remembered one of my dreams last night, and I realized part of the reason it's so hard for me to talk to people about my dreams is they're kind of like psychedelic experiences. They're very psychic.
Oh, yeah.
Like even the words I'd have to use to describe the experiences I'm having would just fall sort of short. So Yeah.
I had a dream the other night about something that you said, Ryan.
Good.
You said something. This was one in the bee event, the Save the Bee event. You said something about gardening being both the cultivation of death and life.
It is.
Yeah,
And-
totally. I think about that all the time, actually.
That really struck me, and I had a dream about that the other night too. But I was
Nice.
just participating in it in the dream,
Mm-hmm.
and the death part was mulch and compost and
Mm-hmm.
all the dead things that make life happen.
My little
Directly.
garden, it's in my best friend's backyard, and she's went on this big trip after this, whole like life thing. She went to Europe for 6 months. She met a really awesome dude who's a beekeeper, actually, good tie-in. And he came out for a month and didn't have anything to do, and she was still working, so he just stayed home and like fixed up stuff around the house. Really handy guy, and he's kind of got the garden ideas set up and like trimmed the yard and got a good portion of stuff, but the major thing he did was the next door neighbor cut down a tree that was rotted out from the middle. So I have like a whole tree worth of wood ready to go for when we get the fire pit up and running.
Nice.
And then the base of the tree is all hollowed out, and there's a couple like knots that are hollowed out, and it's stacked up in the middle of the garden. And there's a bunch of random chunks of the tree that are rotted and stuff, and they make like perfect bug homes,
Yeah.
And I'm like excited to have like one in every planter. And then just the idea of this like tree like kind of like melting back into the ground slowly over the next like 10 or
You
12
need to make
years.
a Facebook event and be like, friends, come help me in my garden.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
Olivia
like,
did, and it worked really well.
right now it would be like, friends, you need to come do my garden. I can't make it yet, but maybe soon.
Even if that still is okay.
No, that's true.
Just make everybody a meal.
I should just take pictures of like, there's a big pile
That's
of
all you have
dirt,
to do.
put it in these things.
Yeah, tell them you'll feed them.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll make you a meal. Come
And
help
you
with the
get
garden.
free microbes.
Yeah. And,
Free soil microbes.
soil microbes and oxytocin.
Yep.
Stabilizing brain chemicals, hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good for you.
Really good.
Being in your garden, Olivia, was one of the most magical experiences I think I've ever had in my life. And it was fantastic.
That's actually a good question. Do you have like a little altar kind of thing in your garden? Like it doesn't have to be centerpiece, but
I feel like there's like many altars in the garden because certain plants for me are like altars in themselves. So there's certain plants that I really am like, and I put little things underneath them and practice imagining fairies, really.
Yeah.
That you
fake it till you make it. Those
Yeah,
things are real, I swear to God.
Exactly.
I've never seen one, I swear to God, they're real.
Yeah, I've met people who like claim to see them all the time.
I'm just
Yeah.
assuming that someday I will. That's
Well, it's
my
also
take
like,
on it.
what's a fairy, right?
Right.
Spiders are fairies, and ants are fairies, and moths are fairies. If you've seen
That's
them
true.
at the right
And
moment.
your consciousness will see something and you
So-
can interpret it as anything based on your belief set. So
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's full of altars. It's kind of like a big altar in itself.
You've got one space that's like specifically altar-y though, yeah?
Although you're talking about the sitting area,
Yeah,
the
the sitting area,
the
yeah.
tree circle.
Mm-hmm.
That was an altar when you were there, but now the altar is in different spots. It
Gotcha.
changed
Okay.
yesterday actually into two different areas.
Nice.
The sort of center of it. So it evolves.
Nice.
But
Well, I'm
absolutely,
psyched.
it's just a way. It's like garden church time.
It is.
garden church, dirt church.
Yeah, if you're somebody who like
Dirt
is
church. I
viewing
love
and you
it.
hear us talk about like spirit and God and stuff sometimes, and you're not into it, and it's something you're like, I don't like religion and all that God talk, go garden. You might be somebody, I would wager, who hasn't like really gotten dirty in the garden and like let bugs crawl on you and all that, which I'm still working with a lot. It's divine is the right word for
Yeah.
it.
If you don't like God, find a viewpoint where the earth is your mother and
Yeah.
act like you love your mother.
Yeah, because God is sometimes a bad word.
Right. Right. I mean,
like it triggers me most of the time. I'm
yeah. Where?
Like, what? Who?
You're putting me in a box.
What
Oh,
rules?
no.
I don't know. I don't know about that word.
Well, if you're
But-
talking about the mysterious and you're talking about the unlimited, I mean, God makes sense. Yeah, we're
wrapping it up.
Yep, we're coming to the end of the podcast. We got a short chat with you, but really quick, want to talk about some gigs you got coming up. You said you get at the Mercury Cafe?
Yeah, the Mercury Cafe on Tuesday
That's this Tuesday.
What time?
Day is that?
at 8.
Okay.
That's the 13th.
June
And I'm gonna be
13th at
playing
8 p.m.
with a really amazing guitarist and songwriter, Adolfo Bromero.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a really amazing. And
I think I've heard that name.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be doing a duo, and then I play with Baobo.
Yep, on July 15th.
Yep.
Down at Meet in the Street, and we're going to be on the Botanic Gardens block. And Botanic Gardens is a sponsor, so it's only fitting that we have a couple of Earth goddesses to join us, and Balbo definitely fits the mold. Will you tell us what Balbo is before we leave the podcast?
Should I?
Yeah, just if you want. It can remain a mystery.
Yeah, I'll talk about Balbo.
What is Balbo?
So, when Persephone went underground to be lovers with... Oh, there's a lot of accounts of if it was consensual or not, but either way, Persephone went to the underworld to be with Hades, which I never... Is it Hades or Hades?
Hades, yeah.
Hades. And her mother is Demeter. And Demeter is the earth mother goddess. And she was so upset when Persephone went underground. She went into this deep depression. She was like, fuck all of you guys. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have spring anymore. We don't need to have any more plants here. This is horrible. Like, my daughter, my precious springtime is gone. Mm-hmm. And so she was so upset. She was so depressed and everything. And then Balbo. Balbo came along. And Balbo is a being that has a vulva for a mouth and nipples for eyes and doesn't have arms and is just really a torso with legs.
Like a feminine figure.
Yeah, but just really like a big belly also, like this belly laughter creature. Mm-hmm. And Balbo came and just jested and kind of messed with Demeter because she's a trickster and is in touch with that. Yeah. And she made her laugh again. She made Demeter laugh again. And so Demeter brought back the spring.
All right.
Well done.
So it's a big name to live up to.
These three ladies are bringing back the spring.
They are bringing back the spring.
I'll believe it.
Well, you can check them out on July 15th on the WeAreDenver block. That's the Champa block down on the 16th Street Mall here in Colorado. It's been great sitting down with you guys. Thank you so much for singing with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Do you have any other online profile things you want to shout out? Just your website? Good?
Well, there's the Balbo page. Mm-hmm. Balbo's a good page. Baubo. Mm-hmm. And then I have my Facebook page, which sometimes I put a lot of stuff on, sometimes I don't. And then I have my little website. But I make calendars and I do visual art, and that's on there too.
Yeah.
And that's OliviaBlumenthal.net.
Yeah, check out
.com.
.com.
I don't know why I said .net. That was weird.
But usually it's just Olivia. Or I mean usually, but also the Facebook is Olivia Blu, BLU.
Yeah, .net died in like 2001. Anyway, Olivia Blumenthal is a fantastic artist. Please check her out. Check out the Balbo page on Facebook. Check her out at the Mercury Cafe here on Tuesday. And check out all the other beautiful people that'll be on this wonderful podcast. WeAreDenver. Thank you guys both so much for being with us. And this has been Illfoominati.
Word.
Love and peace.